Thursday. I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir. Welcome to another marvelous episode of Overreaction Monday on a Thursday. I am the governor of college football. With me is a guy of these. No introduction, the mayor of college football, Downtown Nino Brown. Also with us tonight, the waviest to ever do it, Mr. CFB Moon. Gentlemen, Moon, I just seen you earlier. Nino, I felt like you were on stage earlier when we were doing college football showdown earlier. Hey, they get double treat. We back again. I'm excited for that. Moon and I have another show in the works. I know you and Moon have another show in the works as well. I'm going live with Governor of College Football tomorrow. It feel like we're getting close. The moment we get to May, I say it's here. Magazine season is just around the corner. Media day season is just around the corner. But let's get straight to it. We did have the 2026 NFL draft exactly a week ago. I was there in Pittsburgh. I enjoyed myself. Walked about 10 miles, but I did enjoy myself nonetheless. Fernando Mendoza, as expected, did go number one to Las Vegas Raiders. And we just started to see a lot of things take shape. We saw Jeremiah Love go kind of earlier than anticipated to the Arizona Cardinals. And then I think one of the more surprising picks, well, not surprising, because Moon, if I'm not mistaken, wanted to mock this, and we gave him a lot of pushback for the Rams the Rams selecting Ty Simpson. Didn't seem like everybody was on board. I will bet my bottom dollar that if you ask Sean McVay who he wanted Mekhi Lemon. I can almost guarantee that. So give me some of your biggest takeaways from the draft. Who drafted well, who you didn't like draft well, who went too early, who went too late. Nino, we're going to start with you, brother.
I'll tell you what. I think the Cleveland Browns did exceptionally well. Like finally, you know what I mean. Got Concepcion, got Denzel Boston. They got two offensive linemen, I believe, Fano and Austin Baba out of Florida. They just continue to stack well. And again, late Carson Ryan out of BYU and Joe Ryan from Cincinnati, two tight ends. They seem to always grab tight ends, just like Baltimore Ravens when they drafted always two, and they hit well. So. Whether it's going to be Shedeur Sanders or it's going to be Deshaun Watson, whoever it's going to be at QB1 this year, I think they're kind of putting the pieces around whoever QB1 is going to be. They're protecting them. It looks like they could have some success. I'm not saying, 10 wins or whatever. I'm just saying what they drafted, I give them a B+, A-, man. For the Cleveland Browns, I was, surprisingly shocked at how well they kept hitting it. A couple of things that I liked about it, Moon, I think you'll probably enjoy, was the whole Mekhi Lemon thing on the phone. Yeah. Right? With Pittsburgh. We're getting ready. Hold on. Someone clicking in. Philly come in and snatch him up. I have to say that pretty much solidifies A.J. Brown to the Patriots. When you get a wide receiver one in the draft, you probably get rid of your wide receiver one. So we'll have to wait and see. Diego Pavia? Man. Yeah. That was kind of wild, huh? And, homeboy, Carson Beck being QB3 while Garrett Nussmeier drops to the 7th round was kind of mind-blowing to me. Got to be some kind of injury there, right? That I guess they don't think he's healthy enough. What are your thoughts there?
I just think it was an overall weak draft class, like overall compared to previous seasons. So, we know Garrett Nussmeier. We know him. I feel like the NFL execs, they probably could nitpick anything they wanted to, But the thing that you can't question is the fact that he got his number for a reason.
Oh, I agreed. But when you got guys from Rutgers, what's his name? Athan Kalamalukas, or whatever the heck his name is, he went. No disrespect, I think he's a good player, him and Cole Payton, but I don't think that they should.
But guess what? We penalized LSU during the season for sure. The last 2 seasons about their offense and everything. That's probably another thing that went into it.
Possible. I'll tell you what. You better watch out for Ruben Payne.
Yeah,
that boy was angry walking down. You see him shaking the arms out like
he
I'm
didn't
coming for business. He
was really angry.
I think they would, dude, putting up that arm size on the screen as this man's getting drafted is kind of ugly. Like, why do people do that? Why they got to keep putting salt in the wound? I mean, the kid fell. We all thought I thought he was going to be, higher pick than where he was. But
100%.
I think Tampa Bay got a dog right now, and they got a man with a lot of anger behind him and a big chip on his shoulder. So those are my quick takeaways on the NFL draft.
I love it. And to add on to what you were saying, I said this earlier. Like, you remember, like, back in the day, it always seemed like there were so many quarterback needy teams. Like, when you looked at who were, like, the elite or good, two elite quarterbacks in the league, it seemed like it was like a quarter of the league, and the rest of the league was fighting to find their guy. We have whole divisions who believe they have their guy. The NFC East believe, each and every one of those teams believe they have their guy. The AFC West, with the addition of Mendoza, I think all of those teams feel like they have their guy. The AFC South, we can say the same thing. I just think the quarterback position isn't as much of a premium as it used to be, because teams have really good guys. Some teams have two guys that are decent enough to be starters in this league. But I do hate the draft process. Make no mistake, we watch a lot of college football, and we actually enjoy college football. I'm not sure these execs enjoy watching college football. I think they hate a lot of the nuances to college football, but I would agree with you with what happened with Nussmeier. And I think Nussmeier's inability to produce was more of a BK issue than it was of a Garrett Nussmeier issue. I think
we got to look at his stats from the year before. The stats from the year before, he was a top 5 quarterback in the country. You know what I mean? Obviously, there was injury, and he played poorly because he tried to play through the injury, and I think that ultimately hurt him, right? But to see some of these guys come off the board, I mean, it was a midsection injury. I mean, unless the rib is just dangling or growing in the wrong direction, I can't understand what possibly, some kind of muscle damage. I don't know, but I think the kid's he's in Kansas City. We'll have to see, but he also has Justin Fields in front of him now too, so he's fighting to be QB3 pretty much over there. You said a lot of these teams think they have their quarterback. I don't know if they think they have their quarterback or the contract makes them stuck with the quarterback that they have.
That's a great point. That's an outstanding point.
Because as the numbers start inflating, I know you can backlay him and play with the money, but some of these guys are starting to get 40, 45, $50 million. So how do you have that guy for the next 3 years at that price and go out and draft a guy in the first 3 rounds and have to answer to
Cleveland,
the team?
Cleveland Browns issue. They got $230 million just sitting there.
And drafted 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, you can't even get rid of his contract. The dead money is just too much dead money. Moon, what were some of your takeaways from the draft?
The amount of group of 6 players that actually got taken this year compared to Power 4 schools, I think it was no G6 players that got taken, if I'm not mistaken. So that was definitely concerning. But it's really a testament of what we have in the current landscape of college football right now, which
NIL,
is
baby.
NIL. Everybody is moving up.
It was no FCS players taken, right?
No FCS players taken in the draft.
I was like, no G6 players taken.
No, G6 was FCS. I know what he was saying.
Okay.
But we're moving on up like the Jeffersons, bro.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, they find them so early now, so they're coming on up, and they're getting drafted. So that's going to be something that we continue to see. Those numbers going to keep going down and down. But that was one of my takeaways. As far as teams, a team that stuck out to me was the Miami Dolphins. I like the way that the Dolphins actually got busy, and they had a clean slate really across the board to fire away on all cylinders and attack. And what did they do? They got the trenches solidified first. Now, regardless of how we evaluate Caden Proctor, for him to come in as a 6'7", 330+ pound, actually 350, my bad, come in and anchor these trenches, hopefully projected as a starter. He was a 3-year starter at Alabama, and I think that he's one of their best draft prospects that they got. Now, the best draft prospect that I feel like they drafted was Jacob Rodriguez. I can't rave on and on about this kid in college
Zach
at
Thomas
Texas.
2.0.
Yes. And he got the physical tools to match that comparison. Where he might lack in his range and what people might grade him, or he makes up for it with his IQ and his ability to showcase production in interceptions, turnover-worthy plays. He was all over the field. They got another Texas Tech guy, if I'm not mistaken, with Caleb Douglas as well. So he came in. I know his frame may give off the vibes that he can project to an X receiver, but I don't necessarily see it, at least not right now. I think he's going to have to get developed. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. For them to smash on the linebacker position heavily and say, we're going to go Jacob Rodriguez, we're going to go Trey Moore from Texas, and then we're going to double dip even more and go Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh. I really appreciated that, like them saying, then we're going to
every team in the AFC East can run a rock. So, I mean, that just Brees Hall, you know what the Patriots do. James Cook, NFL leading rusher, they can run the rock.
My question to you guys with Miami though is Moon and KT is Malik Willis was totally going in. They're going to build a team around him.
Mm-hmm.
Those three wide receivers. You're looking at Malik Washington and Jalen Tolbert are the 1 and 2 right now on this team because we don't know what's going on with Tyreek Hill. I do not think he's going to return to the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
So now you're going to go
what they
with,
just picked up though. They drafted wide receivers. They got Caleb Douglas. They got Chris Bell from Louisville, and they also got
like
Kevin
ACL.
Coleman. Kevin Coleman was putting up numbers in the SEC.
I understand he's a 7th round.
Yeah.
They need all the talent they can get.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, but now here's my thing. This is going out and getting Chris Johnson in the 2nd round. You couldn't have went out and got a wide receiver right there and picked a DB in the next.
For
Nah,
sure.
that's a good thought process, Nino. I can't fault you for saying that. But when I look at it on paper, the Dolphins secondary was one of the worst in the league, regardless of position, heading into 2026. So when you have a big riser in Johnson, I don't feel bad that they pressed the accelerator on that. Especially since he was solid in coverage last year, and they need the depth.
I'm a Chris. I think he's good. I like him at
one
San
of
Diego
those.
State.
I think it's one of those things where you got a defensive-minded head coach,
Happily.
and the way that the board worked, I think the board worked into the favor of that defensive-minded coach. Now, if their intel says that Tyreek Hill will be back this year and be playing for the Dolphins, then I think that'll bode well for them. Now, if he does not end up, playing there this year, then I'm not sure what's up. But I do like the pieces that they got at the times that they got them. I think they might have ran into think about how many trades there were in the draft this year. Like there was just a bunch of teams trading up, so they might have got what's the word I'm looking for? Sniped a few times.
Defensively, I think they hit home runs. I like it. Just I'm a little concerned when you take Caleb Douglas as a 75th player overall, when everywhere and across the board, and even in my process, I had him as probably a top 140, 130. That's you could have got him 2-3 rounds later and got someone else. It's Devin A. Chain and who?
RB, yep.
And this is a first year 1 starter. You're putting that now. You make it. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. I would have thought that they would have surrounded him with maybe a 2nd round wide receiver, maybe even a 3rd round wide receiver of a higher caliber. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And then like the next receiver you take is the guy that's coming off a huge injury, an ACL injury. Like granted, he's already running on a treadmill, but is he cutting? Is he back to the Chris Bell that we thought we saw he was prior to the injury? We don't know. And being a department where you need guys to come in right off the rip, I just unless they're gonna go get out, get Keon Allens and guys like that nature, and Stephon Diggs. I'm just confused at the process of where they went after. I get it, defensive minded coach, DB coach. I understand that, but
they had 12 picks, Nino. Throw darts at a wall. We are at the bottom right now. We'll see how these things develop. But this year next year we're not going to be in the situation.
But they could have taken those picks, packaged them together. Like if you took two fourth round, you know what I mean? Let's look at the thing. They took 75 and 80 and 87. They could have got 75 and 87, got themselves into the 60s, got themselves into the late 50s, and got a higher caliber wide receiver. See, I don't know off the top of my head right now who got taken.
At that point, Cooper was already taken in the end of the 1st round.
So
the 2nd round wide receivers that actually went, who would you prefer?
They had, well, Jacksonville's stupid taking that Burr kicker kid at 56. Like that was just stupid in the second. Is it the 2nd round? 3rd round, 2nd round. Let me see. Gamani Bernard. I mean, people taking Sean Stribling, I thought was wild at the top of the 2nd round. I mean, they got sniped, obviously, with Malachi Fields, but after that, like, you wouldn't have taken a chance on Lane or Zachariah Branch in Miami?
Yeah, I see what you're saying on the offense side of the ball. I mean, they did get Proctor, so they are going to protect Malik Willis, but they had a stellar draft. Especially, like, defensively, they had
defensively,
a stellar
yes, and I agree with you defensively. But if you're a quarterback who's got told they're going to build a team around you, and that's what they gave you, I'd be a little bit like, oh, man.
I hear you. But I think what we don't know is how their board shaped out. Maybe the players that they wanted at the spots that they wanted, kind of was like, well, damn,
Yeah.
We had Kyle Lewis ranked here. He's still on our board. That was a wide receiver we wanted that was just taken. Let's go get Kyle Lewis and pair him with Jacob Rodriguez, and we got our linebacker core for the next 12 to 15 seasons. Like,
Marion Brown at 190. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Just
You really just don't like. I know that you believe in Malik Willis so much, but if we can't even get stops on our defense,
they do. They pay him like they do. I'm just saying, when you pay a dude like you believe in him, and then you tell him we're building a team around you,
right?
And you don't draft a quarterback at all.
They had one of the best drafts in the league.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. So I'm going to go look at their roster, and these rookies going to have to start.
That's what I'm saying. Jalen Waddle's gone, and if Tyreek Hill, like, don't think he's playing. I mean,
I do like Malik Washington though, as a slot
as
wide
a
receiver.
one.
No, hell no. As a slot wide receiver, I think he could be an 85 to 100 catch guy, and if he gets enough targets.
Right, but he's probably going to be drawing your best DB right now on the field.
Yeah, for now, for sure. Well, this is definitely a discussion we'll have to revisit. Let's go ahead and move right along. Let's talk about Oregon spring game. Some of you guys takeaways from Oregon a spring game. Nino, you're kind of our Oregon aficionado. And talk to me about what some of your takeaways was from that. And shout out to my dog, SC. I love having conversations with SC about Oregon as well. So talk to me about what you're seeing from the spring game.
SC is definitely, the Oregon man living up that way as well. But I don't know if you like chocolate or chocolate-covered peanuts, but Eminem, they were kicking it more and more, right? Dante and Decorian, it was present. It was nice to see Evan Stewart, showing the speed. Yes, he wore a non-contact jersey, all precautionary. A man's fine, right? You saw the speed in the 75-yard touchdown from Dylan Raiola. Raiola may have looked a little bulky, but he gonna figure it out. It is what it is. So for me, I wanted to see something. Obviously, they kept it very simple, vanilla, no twist between Coach Hampton and Mehringer, I think his name is Mehringer. I'm gonna mess that up, but Coach Meh, I'll leave it at that. But they got a lot to kind of fix offensively. Dude, you were red zone. Like, things got to get better. They got to get better. Production's got to get better, both offensively and defensively. I think defensively they were somewhere in like 89% in the red zone. Like, the team scored once they got in the red zone, and now you're losing Tosh, and you first year defensive coordinator, depth at the linebacker position, right? Obviously, Mixon Jr. is there. He's the guy to fill in for Bothinger, or I always mess his name up, but and then you have the senior in Devin Jackson. But after that, you're looking at a bunch of linebackers. Nobody's got more than 40 snaps. But this is odd. You know what I mean? But they're going to rely on the front guys. I understand. Bear, Mateo, rushing. I get it. I understand.
They clog up so many of my problems. I don't got 99, like Jay-Z said.
I know, but I'm used to an all-level defensive production at Oregon. They do it at all levels the last 4 or 5 years.
They got it at all levels this year, too. They're going to be straight.
I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying I was with the new coaching staff. The guys in new position, I wanted to see a little bit more. But yeah, we're going to see those two sophomore running backs go off like they did last year. More experience. Jordan Davison, I mean, come on, that boy's a freak. I think they'll be all right. Stewart and Moore, where are you putting them for wide receiver room? Because now, hey, you put them Jeremiah McCullough, 5-star, right? And people are forgetting. I know it's been a year. You haven't heard his name, but he was one of the fastest men on the planet. And Gatlin,
talking about Gatlin?
Nah, he didn't. So, and then he had
a mission, right?
Yeah, Iverson Hooks comes in from UAB, right? Isn't he over in Oregon? Like, that guy had 900-something yards. So
that's what I'm saying, bro. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good.
Jalen, I don't understand why you don't like Dante.
He did good.
I know you guys spoke about it a little bit on the other show. I'm gonna do a little cross shows, right? Dante Moore didn't go to the draft because who wants to be a Jet? Right? I don't know if there's going to be if he's going to be 78%, but if he gives you 73%, 70%, 3,000 yards, same amount of touchdowns, maybe a little bit. He's going to be right there with Arch. I don't think there's going to be that much of a drop-off. But would you want to go be a New York Jet for the next 4 years?
No, it's just risky because we've seen this. It's a cautionary tale.
But not everybody's Geno Smith or Sam Donald.
Nah, 100%. But it's a cautionary tale with Spencer Rattler. We thought, he was going to be a guaranteed first-round pick, and he ended up going to college for a couple of more years. This past year,
but he didn't stay. That's the thing, though. He didn't stay 1 year extra.
Who?
Rattler.
No, he didn't stay 1 year extra, but he could have went the year before.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have been.
He might have been.
Maybe a round or two higher.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he was
yeah,
gonna be a first round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so with Dante Moore, I still think he's top 3. I still think at the end of the day in this class he'll still be drafted top 3. And if he
Garrett Nussmeier lost a lot of money by not going last year.
Dude,
because he got injured.
Yeah.
There's the injury fact. I don't know if production wise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had to prove himself because he had that. It was a half season after.
Yeah. So he was playing
Caleb?
lights out, and then Caleb Williams happened.
Well,
during
that's
the
not his
Oklahoma
fault.
Game. Nah, it's not. He was completing 80%, but he's playing safe. He's completing 80% of his passes, and Caleb Williams was just Dante Moore better than Nussmeier. I think we can say that now. I'm not so certain I said that a year ago.
Well, what was the numbers from Garrett Nussmeier in 2024? Was he better than 35, 78, and 30? I don't think so. He might have had more touchdowns, but I don't know if he was better completion percentage. I think he did have 4,000 yards. That's true.
I have to look at it.
You see.
But
My
you're right. You're right.
takeaway is-
Statistically, I don't think. I think Moore has better stats than Nussmeier, but it was just the interceptions was hurt him. But he did throw for 4.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4K.
But instead of the 12 and 5 he threw this year, damn. He should have won last year.
All right, Moon. Hit us with your takeaways, my man.
So I came away from Oregon spring game kind of just looking at myself in the mirror and saying, hey, Moon, my biggest problem with Oregon last year was can they fly? And I feel like the Ducks got their wings clipped.
Mm-hmm.
And they leaned into this ground attack where I don't want to see. It's ugly. It's weird. It's Big Ten. And you need to shake that off your shoulders. I need to see the Ducks fly in 2026. You want to know what that looks like? Downfield passing. That's what I need. If Dante Moore, like we having a conversation right now, is the unequivocal quarterback number 1 on this team and in the Big Ten and heading into this upcoming next year, Jaden Mayavi will like a word and all these other ones will like a word, right? But I need to see them push the ball down the field vertically. Period. You have too much talent. Too much. Evan Stewart is finally back. Thank the Lord above that we can keep him healthy.
Oh, yes.
Thank the Lord. And then you talk about McClellan, Hooks, Moore, Bear, all these, and then the other Bear. Like, it's just too much to love when it comes to Oregon and the Ducks, and this is the reason why. I don't want to hear no excuses. None. We hype Oregon up. I hype Oregon up for all of this, and I'm glad that they embrace the physicality of the Big Ten, but stop. I don't want to see you, just because you moved up in the heavyweight division don't mean that you got to lose your light heavyweight swiftness. I need you to stay on your toes, Oregon. I need you to start throwing bows, Oregon, because right now in the spring game, it gave me a lot of good things. It was a lot of still remaining question marks, Nino. I mean, the biggest question mark is with all the talent gone in the NFL pipeline that is Oregon University, I think 8+ players got drafted. I mean, everybody's saying, oh, the DB room. But last time I checked, Brandon Finney Jr. is entrenched as cornerback number 1. Mm-hmm. All-American freshman. Then Ife is still out there. And then Coy Parrish transferred over from Minnesota.
The Swiss Army
Damn,
knife.
safety.
And Dylan Thieneman just got picked high in the draft.
First round, baby.
And they clearly said, hey, the NFL loves how Oregon uses their nickel corners. So Coy had to look at that and say, maybe, just maybe, there's a world that exists where I know Minnesota's treating me good, but this could be my pipeline to get to the NFL. When I look at Kenya Sadiq going 25th with Thieneman, Pregnon at 88th, Kennedy at I think it was 109. When I'm looking at these players, I'm like, bro, who's the next cream of the crop for Oregon and the Ducks? I thought about that when I watched the spring game because I'm like, these dudes are loaded. But my major takeaway is, if I had to give people names to watch out for, I would probably say Aiden Breland, because he got recognized. Of course, Evan Stewart was a spring game MVP, but it was just great to see him back out there. I think another name that we got to figure out is Emmanuel Iniwacho and Ife. I want to see Ife's development. Ibidegu. See his development for CB2, because I don't want to see a downward progression for Brandon Finney, especially after all the success he had in year one. So it's a lot to like about Oregon. I don't know if it's a lot to love.
Is it though?
I think
Oh yeah.
I got my starting cornerback.
So.
I got my starting quarterback returning. That's already better than most of the country.
I know why you saying that though.
They keep going to playoffs and laying a fucking egg.
That's why you're saying that.
Like, is it?
Yeah.
Is it
But if you're coming out the spring looking at a roster, there's a lot to like about.
Oh yeah, it's a like to love about the roster, bro. Dan Lanning, when I tell you he's great with these stories, these fables, these things that get you motivated to play. But hey, bro, I need you to be less of a player's coach, and I need you to be an asshole, like what that kid in Bloomington is doing. I need you to be more like that. I really do. Dante fucking Moore was seeing ghosts. In my opinion, the second half of that Indiana game, in the regular season, and the entire game that they played in the playoff, where are we going to see the maturation there? And Moon, they have the wide receivers to take the shots, but in the Big Ten, pause, by the way, in the Big Ten, Nick Saban saying it best. We need to get back to joyless murder ball. Run the ball.
They have
be physical.
Though.
They do. That's what I would like to see them do. Run the rock.
So you want to see them lean into running the rock?
Yes, run the ball.
I want to see them go away from that. I want to see them throw the ball, because at the end of the day, we got DeCorian Moore and all this talent, and we not getting them looks. We can easily be shredded secondaries.
Ohio State's a smaller version of Ohio State. Obviously, they don't have the coaches for the NFL style, but they're going to give you that.
Sure.
They have the backs. I think they have pretty much right there with the running back room that Ohio State has, right? And then they might be a step behind. Obviously, with Chris Henry added to Ohio State's room, they might be a step behind there. But you got to think, last year it looked a little bit more physical because they had a lot of injuries in wide receiver room, and you had a freak of nature at tight end that played close to the ball.
100%.
And everything he caught across the middle was physical, yards after contact, yards after the catch. Like, that's what he did. And then you had Jordan Davidson that looked like Sadiq. Is that just as big? You know what I mean? And then you had Noah Whittington, who's a little bone ball himself. So they had a lot of physicality due to the injury. They had no choice. Now you're going to be able to play that run game. But guess what? When the play action comes, when them quick outs come, you got the players to take the top off the ball. So we can fly, but we got to start on the ground first, get some space on that runway to take off. And I'm with it. I think they got it. You're looking at probably the best top 3 front line in college football defensively. Their front line is stupid. And they got a true freshman that's coming in that's probably going to get a lot of playing time.
They might have the best. I'm 100%
Them,
with that.
USC.
They gave us vanilla, but trust you this. Week 1, you getting 32 flavors like fucking Baskin Robbins, baby.
What, at Boise State versus Boise?
No. At Oregon. They're going to give you 32 flavors like that offense ain't going to be vanilla.
Nah,
this dude's learned. Look what they've done in that tight end room under this dude for the last 3 years. They produced what? Top 3 round picks for the past 3 years out of Oregon in tight end room, right? Like, this dude knows what he's doing. He can be just as unique and wild and exotic as Will Stein was, and he's been learning from Will Stein for the past 3 seasons. I'm with this staff. There's a reason why they promoted from within. There's a reason these guys been learning the system. Part of the culture, part of the family. I don't think there may be a little hiccup. It may not look all the same, but I think the veterans are back in play, and they already know. You got to look at defensively, right? And offensively, the leaders are familiar with the system, so they're just going to modify it a little bit and roll with it. So I think they're in good shape.
They are 10-5. I mean, 10.5 wins projected Vegas win total. I would lean towards the over, given the fact that they have 10 P4 games, 1 FCS game, 1 G6 game, technically. FCS coming against Portland State, G6 Boise State. But outside of that, the only game that Oregon is not favored in is against Ohio State Week 10. And that's at Ohio State.
And if Dante outplays Julian Saying there and they come out with that W, I think we're gonna put Dan Lanning back in that driver's seat again. Oh, okay, we won a big one.
You're right. And you guys know I love Dan Lanning, and they don't gotta play Indiana. They do play SC.
That's on the
I
road,
like their
too.
schedule, but September 12th is what I'm looking at for this team. That's gonna tell me everything that I need to know.
At Oklahoma State.
That's gonna tell me everything I need to know.
Okay.
Wow, you got that much faith in a team that team that's stepping up.
No. It's not. It's not the faith that I have in Stillwater. If Oregon marches into Stillwater and beat the hell out of them, okay. But if that game is closer than it should be,
Okay.
I have some concerns. So when I say that game's going to tell me everything I need to know. From an intel perspective.
I like Drew Mestamaker, but I don't know he faced the front four like
Ever.
that ever in his life. Not even in his dreams or his
No.
nightmares. So
Ever. Not never. So yeah, I agree with you there. But that, like I said, that game is one of those games where I'm like, all right, let me see what we got here. They go in there and they play Oregon football and they beat them by 40. 30, 3+ scores. I'm like, okay, yes, this team.
I think that's a 3 touchdown game.
It should be.
I think all day.
Yeah, it should.
November for the Ducks is going to be monumental.
They should be a well-oiled machine at that point.
They should be.
At Ohio State, then you got to play Michigan the week after, week 11. Week 12, you got to play at Michigan State, and then you close it off home game against Washington.
Yeah.
So
They should be 8-0 before they got to march into Columbus.
100%.
And
And if they are 9-0, get the hell. You better
watch
get
out,
nervous,
watch out.
bro.
I owe them an apology, and I will do it live on Overreaction Monday. Alrighty, we got about 13-ish minutes left. Let's get into this Big 12 win totals. Let's kind of keep this smooth. First team up is Arizona. FanDuel has them at 7.5 wins. You guys think they go over and under? I also have the schedule with me if you guys need it.
I got them over, and they beat Arizona State for the Territorial Cup.
oh, you a dog!
Let's go!
You a
I
dog!
love it. I love it.
And they got it actually at the end of the year this year, and not
Yes,
not
sir.
sprinkled in the middle.
Yeah,
You know,
that should be a rivalry week.
Segue to the next one.
Yes. Arizona State 6.5.
over.
But they lose back-to-back.
Wait, you said Arizona State?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Which is crazy that they got them started in the top 25, but yet they got them at over 6.5 wins.
All right, I'm gonna
Something
say
fishy.
I'm gonna say under, only because I got them losing against Hawaii, and I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take them losing against Hawaii. I'm big on the Rainbow Warriors.
I got them at 8-4, 7-5.
I'm a sucker. That's a push. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. We got Baylor at 5.5 wins.
Under.
I got them at 7.
7?
I think they beat Texas Tech.
Under.
Ooh. I like that.
Even if it Will Hammond,
7?
I got them at 7.
I got 6 and 6, baby.
I
So you got the over. They're
You
five,
see the house
5.5.
TJ Lagway bought, bro? That boy,
No.
comfy, bro.
Hey man, it ain't too many more play callers I want to be when it comes
I think
to
offensively
Jake
they'll be
Spavio.
back. I just need that defense to show the fuck up.
At
BYU
Auburn, lost.
8.5.
BYU.
Way over. I got them 11-1. I think they are.
Right.
Only
Juggernaut.
lost to Notre Dame.
That's the only loss to Notre Dame.
I mean, they don't play Arizona.
But it's
Oh, no,
in
they do play
Provo,
Arizona.
so watch out. It's in
It's
Provo.
in Provo. Watch out. Wow.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm smashing the over on the 8.5.
Yo,
For sure.
hey, I hate this fact, but not the return of production, but the veteran leadership coming back, bro. Watch
Yeah,
out.
the return
in the Big
of
12?
starters.
In the Big 12? Woo!
I switched from return of production to return of starters.
That's what I'm with. Return of starters.
Where are your return of starters at? Yes. I like that.
I got 3 losses from them. One against Utah, one against Arizona, and one against CCU.
I'm still smacking the over. It's just
I don't
not.
like
That's
that.
not.
I don't
A
think I don't know if
9-3.
Danny Craig is going to be to be able to get them past with Josh.
They're gonna have to be. Sonny Dykes ran his mouth a lot.
Yeah,
he gonna have to be.
Looking at that game, it's only BYU -5. So, and this is
Right
at
now.
TCU.
right now.
Yeah, it'll switch. Cincinnati at 5.5 games. What you guys think?
Under.
I doubted
push.
Scott Satterfield last year. It's a push for me too. I think they might get the bowl eligibility.
I'm at
I don't
4
know.
and 8.
Colorado
what?
at 4.5.
What?
It would not be within the realm of college football craziness for Cincinnati to have a good year, especially after all this Brendan Sorsby situation.
Oh boy.
I mean, the Big 12, we get a little bit of foolishness in the Big 12. Colorado at 4.5. How you guys feeling about that one?
Over by 1 or
2.
2.
They played Georgia
I got
Tech,
them bowling.
Weber State, Northwestern, Baylor, Texas Tech, Utah, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Arizona State, Houston, Cincinnati, UCF.
I'm gonna change my pick.
I got them.
I'm gonna go under. I can't get out the back of my head, the smallest team in college football. I cannot. Bro.
It bothers me. I want them to be so good this year. At Houston, 7.5. I'm smacking the over.
I got them at 10.
Everybody know that. Yeah, same.
I think they lose at Utah and they lose at Lubbock, but there's a chance they can win in Lubbock. So
I think they as them and BYU for the conference championship.
that's what I got.
Houston, I'm going over too.
I will stay Go ahead.
Their last part of the year for Houston is brutal, bro. They gotta go at Utah versus Cincinnati, at Colorado, at West Virginia, the House
Cincinnati
of
is a
Horrors.
problem.
Nah, their home field advantage is a problem.
No, that's fine.
Home
But
field advantage
at that point, they could be a juggernaut.
could be. But my biggest, I don't like the West Virginia game, Week 12.
Yeah, I feel like
that's the House
some
of
weird
Horrors
things
right
happen.
Where is it? In Morgantown?
Yes,
It's in
in
Morgantown.
Morgantown.
And they got this
But
is
But
right
Morgantown's
after-
only got 3 wins by that time. Who cares?
But you already know.
I know.
You already know. Every
know.
year we do this.
They
here.
get somebody. They get somebody that they had no business getting. Who was it
and they
last year?
always beat them.
They beat somebody last year.
Oh,
was
they
Iowa
did.
State. Was
Yeah,
it-
yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Iowa State at 5.5. I'm smacking the under. I'm not even thinking about this.
By a half game though. I got them
Yeah.
at 5 wins. I think that
5
they'll
wins?
mess around and get 5.
I like that. Kansas at 4.5.
4.5 push.
Push.
There
Long
ain't
Island,
nobody over there.
Missouri,
Jalen Daniels
Arizona State.
is in NFL now.
Who did he sign with? He was UDFA, right?
Well, no, Washington, I think maybe.
Was it? Okay.
Their quarterback position between Isaiah Marshall, Ballard, and Jenkins is going to be spicy.
It's going to be
but
interesting.
outside of that, it's a lot of question marks when it comes to them. But DK McDonald, he got some personnel around him. They should be better, but it's a push because
I do like the combination of Dylan Edwards and Yasin
Willis.
Yasin
Yeah, they're gonna be
Willis.
running the
I
rock
like
a
that.
lot.
That's
But the
tough.
problem is with that when your favoring is in the run game, can you stay in games long enough to be able to still run the ball?
You said Dylan
That's
Edwards.
a good point.
The
Yeah,
same Dylan Edwards at Kansas State.
yeah, he's
That
not
quick.
there no more.
Yeah.
The
He
same
left.
same Dylan Edwards that checked out of a game after a punt return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him. But he flashed that.
Well,
Colorado
5 weeks,
his
by the
first
way.
year.
5 weeks.
Yeah, he flashed. They also do got
One-
Cam Pickett. So I like some of their pieces. I
Yeah.
think I will go with what was it 4.5? I think
Yeah,
I'll give
I
him
went
5.
I went 4 and 8.
Kansas State 7.5. How we feeling about Kansas State this year?
I got him at 8 wins, 8 and
Do
4,
you?
7 and 5. I got to see Avery Johnson take the step though.
He has to. He absolutely has to. I agree with you there.
I think they're more 7 and 5 than 8 and 4.
They lucked up so much, bro. They don't have to play Texas Tech. They do not have to play BYU.
Who cares about Texas Tech? I'll get to that later, but I mean, they got a lot of
their
things working in
defense
their
is
favor.
still lit, bro. Their
Yes,
defense
and
is
they
still
have
lit.
7 home games. I understand.
I'm just saying they do
Are
not
you
have
throwing
to
the
play
ball,
Texas
or am
Tech.
I throwing the ball?
KT throwing the ball.
Yeah, because we don't know if Phil Hammond's healthy enough to
I'll
throw the
line
ball
up
for
at
the first
H.
couple of weeks.
Yeah, you line up at
H.
H.
Put me at H, bro.
I tell you this: if Brendan Sorsby is suspended for the year, Cody Campbell is going to illegally do something. What exactly will he illegally do? I'm not sure, but he'll find a way.
You
to
think Joey
illegally do
Maguire
something.
takes a hit and they go to the portal?
Yeah,
Possibly.
hell yeah.
It's a whole year. It's a whole year though, without him
this
saying
is-
anything.
Are
That's
they
the
going
thing.
to? Are they going to enforce it?
They have to. They would have to.
But
They would have
what's
to.
the-
You can't put this kid on a gamble and put his face all over and then not enforce Joey Maguire can't coach for the year. Like if that's what you're gonna let them hit the portal for a QB, then you got to enforce the shit out of it.
Yeah. It's going to get spicy. I'm telling you, Cody Campbell, the guy that he seems like he is.
Money man.
Yeah, went toe to toe with Brett Yarmark. Told him that he works for us. We do not work for him. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Oklahoma State 6.5.
Over.
I got him at 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 7, 8. Yes, over. That's easy over. Damn, I need to go play that now. TCU 6.5. I think this is where the argument starts.
Over.
Are we all over? Okay. Cool.
I got him 7 and 5, 8 and 4.
I'm not mad at that at all. Texas Tech, I am smacking the under.
I have 8.
It did drop from
7 and
11.
5.
It was 11.5. Now it's at 10.5 with the
Yeah,
Sorsby
I got
games.
him at 8 wins.
8 wins.
Yeah, bro.
Where you at, Mo?
Yes.
Bro, I'm sorry. I just don't think they have. If Will Hammond is not healthy enough to play, I think
And
that
I
they
do like
have
Will Hammond.
so much problems, and they got the schedule isn't easy for them.
It isn't.
I mean, it is. They got Abilene Christian, Oregon State, who was mid last year,
That's
and
true.
that's not because I don't like Shepherd. I'm a Coach Shepherd guy.
That's fine. That's 2. Go ahead.
But their game, they got Houston. They could start off
That's an L?
legitimate 3-1. 3-1.
Not
They got
Houston?
Sam Houston. They got Houston
Nah,
and then Sam Houston.
he's
after.
saying
Okay,
they'll-
that's
yeah,
3-1.
yeah.
That's fine.
They got Colorado after that, so that's possibly 4-1.
4-1. Yeah,
Ooh,
I'm with
ooh.
you.
With who at quarterback though? If Will Hammond's quarterback, yeah. If not, I don't know.
I gave him an L against Houston.
Okay.
That's the best defense, in my opinion, that they're going to face so far. After that, they got to play Kenny Dillingham's Arizona State. They got to go to Cincinnati. The games that I don't like, I'm not going to like a Morgantown game.
I don't like
but
the Oklahoma State game. I don't like the
that one.
Arizona game.
I don't like that one either.
Baylor, depending
That's
what
what
Baylor
I'm
show,
saying.
Baylor
Now
can
look
get.
at
Yeah,
that. He's not saying 4 losses.
so they're only gonna lose one game, Moon. Yeah, because they got to win 11.
But they favored in every single one of them, and I do believe in their defense. Like,
They're
I
also
really-
I mean, me
ranked
too.
7.
100%.
Because they don't know
They
what's
got to
going
go
on with
11.
Sorsby.
They got to
we
go
saw
11 and 1
them.
though.
We saw them smack people's heads open last year just
For
for
sure.
defense alone.
For sure.
But they were
For
putting
sure.
up 30+ points a game.
Yeah.
I don't think they could do that without Sorsby.
So is
Lloyd
it pushing you,
Jones?
Moon, or are you taking it over?
Kurt Francis.
I'm gonna take the under, and I think it's not gonna. What was it? 11
It's 11. Yeah.
under, and I think it losses go against. It'll be random. Like it'll be against like Houston, and maybe like Arizona.
Texas Tech is the argument, Jalen. Texas Tech.
I got him at 8 and 4.
8 and 4. I got them between 9 and 3 and 10 and 2. They're not winning 11 games though. I can guarantee you that.
Dang, and I told y'all before the season even started, before we even did the transfer portal, that I did not like Brandon Sorsby. I could not put my finger on it, and now I know. It's because, man, that man was over there with Drewski the whole time.
Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah,
I got to the bottom of it.
I think he fits their scheme. I think he's a better version of Baron Morton is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I think he fits
100%.
them perfectly, but
And
maybe
it's
it
those
would've been-
off-script plays for me that Baron Morton, they needed him to do it when they played
That dude is
Oregon.
Baron
It was an injury
Baron
concern with Baron Morton.
Morton.
It was always in the back of his head.
He's Baron Morton with more sexier hair, basically.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Baron Morton now. He's on the Patriots, so I got to do what I got to do.
You see at 5.5. What Scotty too? How do you do this year?
I got him at 5.
Yeah,
I got Scotty right on the fringe of bowling, but it's
I'm
gonna
scared,
be tough, man. I'm scared too,
Scott
Nino.
Frost he's gonna get, right? And if he's going to be able to, he got 2 weapons at quarterback and Jenkins and Alonzo Barnett.
But look, they do got our dude Duke Watson, dude. Like,
They have pieces, but how's he going to run this offense? Are we going to see?
I think run game centric, but then they got Alonzo Barnett. So, dang.
And they got Jenkins from FIU.
Damn, bro.
We going
I'm not gonna lie.
over.
Hold on. Let me go look at Central Florida depth chart real quick. What the hell going on here? When they get my dog Duke Watson, man?
Oh, their schedule
And they
is
got
kind
Landon
of sweet,
Chambers.
baby. Their schedule is kind of sweet. I ain't gonna hold
Yo,
you.
Scotty Too Hottie is doing this thing, man.
Well, look at that offensive line. Everybody's a transfer.
I know.
Everybody.
That's how you got to get it out the mud, bro.
No,
Last
I'm with
year
it,
wasn't the
but it's
best.
you got to get the gel going too.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
You know who the
important.
perfect gel is, Nino? Scotty Too Hottie.
I don't know about that, bro. How was that gel in Nebraska, bro?
It was bad. It was bad.
They got
Well,
the-
you know what though? I think can this UCF team go into Pitt and upset Pitt? I think they can.
I think they can.
Yes.
I think they can. That's when it gets scary because they'll start off
Because-
3-0 and then got to play TCU.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
but will
fan
they
of Pitt this
the
year.
air deflate out the muscles?
I'm not a fan of Pitt this year, just because I feel
Me
like their
either.
team is so young. They
Me
lost
either.
too much depth.
And I like
They got-
Narduzzi, but
I like their
I'm
quarterback.
smacking the
I
over
like
for
Mason.
UCF. I'm smacking the over. They got a kid that's
Look.
won a lot of games.
You want to go through their schedule?
At Bridgeport State. Yeah. I got the schedule right here. You can go ahead.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
All right, Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. That's a
That's a
dub.
win.
That's a win. We got at Pitt. I'm going dub.
Okay.
Shot. Then they got Georgia State Panthers. So
Win.
win. They got TCU at home.
L. That's an L, bro.
You got an L for
That's
that?
out.
I
Yeah,
got an
That's
L.
that first L. They gotta go to Houston. So
L.
back to back L's.
yeah. Too.
Then they gotta go to Oklahoma State. That stretch
L.
right there.
That's a 3-3 now.
3-3.
Now, can they handle that? That's a psyche check.
Right.
Exactly. Heading
But if they
into-
can win one of those 3 and be 4-2 instead of 3-3, that's a big difference.
Yes.
Exactly,
Agreed.
'cause
Because you're not on a 3-game
BYU
losing streak.
Yeah.
BYU comes to town.
Dang,
comes
that's
to
an
town.
L. That's an L, bro.
It's
Bounce House
difficult.
gonna be rocking, bro.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
Bam
different.
Lockbite gonna be bouncing.
Run into that zone, bro.
Then they play another home game versus Baylor with DJ Lagway coming
They can win
back.
that one. That's a winnable game.
That's
At
a shootout.
Kansas.
At
They can
Kansas.
win that one. It's tough to go to Lawrence to get a win, but they can win that one.
Their
Rock
last
chalk,
3
baby.
weeks of the season in November, they closing that junk out with Arizona State,
L.
Iowa State,
Win.
They can win that one.
at Colorado. So
can
two
win that one.
out of the 3 are home games.
They can go either 5-7 or 6-6.
I got them at 5, so 6
Yeah.
and 6 ain't that far off.
Yeah, it's a push. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. We got Utah 8.5 wins. Do they get there?
I got them at 10.
Whoa.
Over.
Devin Dampier is back, bro.
Over.
Come on.
Hey.
Look at that schedule. Pull it up. Pull up that
Idaho?
schedule.
Yeah, Idaho. What was it?
Arkansas. They got
Mm-hmm.
3 straight home games.
And three dubs.
And then they got at the Cyclones in Ames. They got to play Kansas. Then
W.
at Colorado.
Damn.
W.
Then they play Houston at home.
That's say it's an L. So that's what 6 and 1.
Yeah, 6-1. Then at Cincinnati.
Dub.
7
I don't like the atmosphere, but I say they get a dub. Then they play BYU in the Holy War.
That's a loss.
7-2.
Yep.
Then at Arizona.
I say 7-3 there.
I think I think they win.
You do?
I think
It's a
Utah's a
pick 'em.
better
They
team.
got it
than
as a
Arizona.
pick 'em, man. Yeah, they
Okay,
got
so
it as a pick 'em.
let's say 8-2.
8-2.
I love Arizona this year though.
And then what's that?
At TCU.
I
And
think
at
they
home
can win
versus
that
West
game.
Virginia.
And
And they win West Virginia.
And we close it versus West Virginia. We
That's
don't gotta
10.
go. We don't gotta go to West Virginia. Thank God.
I think that's 10 wins, bro. I think they suck. They putting their head in the battle, 3-headed battle with Houston and with BYU.
BYU.
But they also ducked. They also ducked the team that we're not talking about. With
happening, bro?
the Red Raiders.
Right. They don't duck them. They
Schedule
didn't ask
says
us.
we
They
do.
didn't ask to slide. They just
Yeah.
they got the easy pass like Mass, baby.
They out of conference is pretty. Is to me is pretty trash in my opinion. They got to
They
play
Gucci,
Arkansas.
bro.
They got to play Arkansas with our guy first year. Ugh.
You know what I'm
You got to
saying?
play Utah State, Idaho,
I think that Arkansas
Idaho.
game is gonna be closer than we think. I truly do believe that.
I think
I
it's a
do
close
too.
game. You got it. You bring him back. Look at Devin Dampier did them down the stretch last year,
Man,
and he coming back.
He
And they
was- he
have
was
they
amazing.
have
he
to.
look great
they're
in the ball.
nothing
Brent
short of
Parker, right?
amazing.
That running back Wayshawn
Yeah,
Parker's back.
Parker's back.
That boy's sick.
Can Scaly get in his bag? That's really what I want to know the most.
I know they're losing 2 guys on offensive line. Obviously, that's some serious production and protection to replace. But man, they got some seniors coming back that produce, bro. They got some dogs on that secondary that are coming back that produce. I think Utah with that schedule, what they got coming back. I know it's a new coach. I understand.
Not really. It is, but not really.
He just
He's
just
been
like
there for so
Oregon,
long.
though. They just been
Yeah.
there forever. And know what
Yeah.
you're doing. So watch out, bro. I think Utah's gonna be. I think people are kind of fading them a little bit because of there's no flashy
West
names
Ham.
there.
Right. Yeah.
We already did West Virginia.
No, that's the last one.
Okay.
What you think, Mo? I'm interested to see where you
What's
go
over
here.
under?
I
The
believe
over-under
it's
is like
5.5. Is
I
it?
got him at 5.
5.5. Yeah, 5
Yeah.
and 6.5. It's right in there.
I got him at 5 and 7, 6 and 6.
If I just take them to winning all their home games, They hit.
It's 6-6, right?
They hit.
Coastal, they can win. UT Martin, they can win.
Virginia, that's where we start getting spicy.
I think Virginia wins that game, bro. I think Virginia's a better team.
Yeah.
Touche.
I'm in
So
on
if they got to play them, and then they got to play Oklahoma State. That's back to back.
Down 2-2. Now we're skidding.
I'm taking the under. But hopefully Rich Rod has it figured out. Because if Rich Rod can run the ball and possess the time clock, look out. Yes. Let me look at their roster again. Give me a second.
We got some dudes. It's just
give me a second.
You got Cam Cook, the best back in the country.
They gonna run that man for. They gonna run that man, bro.
But
they gonna run him like Georgia Tech ran Haynes King.
Yeah.
When you go in the wide receiver room, you're looking at you're hoping on talent instead of production. Like Prince Strahan from Boise State. I think he went to USC. Like he didn't produce at USC like he did at Boise State. So you're hoping on the talent to hit.
Oh, they got Michael Hawkins.
They got Michael Hawkins and Scotty Fox and Max Brown for veterans.
Michael Hawkins and Rich Rod offense.
I mean,
y'all not saying what I'm saying.
But the problem is that after Cam Cook, they just got a whole bunch of freshmen, and a lot of guys that don't got no type of production.
Yeah,
wide receiver room, room, Prince Stration.
You like Michael Hawkins
in that system? Yes, I love Michael Hawkins in that system.
He was garbage in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but that's not a system that he's built to flourish in.
DJ Epps can have a great
They ran like a veer and shoot raid before Ben Arbuckle got there. And then they ran an air raid when Ben Arbuckle got there. Those aren't systems he can flourish in. But the spread that he's going to be running in West Virginia, yes, read options. The throws that he'll have to make are easier throws. We're talking about tunnels. We're talking about bubbles. Hawkins is trash. All right. So when Hawkins produces this year, we're going to come back to this clip on 4/30/2026.
Produces as what, though? Like a KJ Jackson?
Produces in the fact that it's equaling wins.
I mean, KJ Jefferson? I'm sorry.
Produces in the fact that equal wins.
Beyond just Michael, they got his brother, too. I'm not saying that it means anything, but Rich Rod was in his bag to get 2 and flip them both from Oklahoma. So they got a lot of snaps returning in that linebacker room, secondary.
Gino was probably the best passer that Rich Rod had.
Offensive line.
At West Virginia. But Pat White, he wasn't the greatest passer, but he was so dynamic in a run game, you had to respect him.
What's the over-under at 5.5? I'm taking it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to step on it. Just because I feel like they returning so much depth on their offensive line. There's so many snaps from last year. And then overall,
Pat White couldn't make quarterback throws. What are we saying? What are we saying?
I'm betting on West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm betting on. Yeah, now I'm rooting for West Virginia. Give me West Virginia for 6 wins, bro.
I'm crazy. Bet on West Virginia, bro. Because last year they were a little bit ahead of schedule. I'm gonna bet on them. That might be on the slip for. Yeah,
Hawkins. Hawkins isn't the best passer. Yeah, we're not. That's no news to anybody. But you put him in a system where he can use his legs, becomes a different player, bro. Watch.
He's going to be a secondary option, right? You didn't go out and get the best running back in the country to make him.
Yeah, no. For sure. Just like, when they had Steve Slayton and Noel Devine with Pat.
But those are different style running backs in Rich Rod. Cam Cook's bowling ball, bro. Yeah, Slayton and Noel Devine was what?
Slayton had yards. If I'm not,
he was explosive. He was speed.
But he still rushed for 1,300 yards.
Right, I know, but Cam Cook had what, 1,500 yards, 2,000 yards, but 75% of them were after contact. My boy is a bowling ball, bro. Hey, 900 yards, 1,000 yards, a yak.
Bet on Cam Cook's rushing yards right now while it's juicy. The odds are spicy. Go get it.
I just think
that's going to make things easier for him. Yeah, Steve Slayton rushed for 1,700 yards in 2006.
I'm not saying
16 touchdowns.
I'm saying the style of back.
Yeah. Of course, they're different style of backs.
Slashers. Cam Cook is a pulverizer.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that only bodes well for Michael Hawkins because you got to worry about Cam Cook. We all know that he's going to be the focus. Hawkins can't pass, whatever. But if Cam Cook gets going and Hawkins get a couple of these, and he gets the bullet and run, he's going to pick up yards in bunches. The kid is a freak athlete.
I'll give you that.
2,500. maybe close to like 800, maybe.
Yeah, we don't need him to throw a 66 perfectly or
No, I get that. I mean,
a 93
on the
inch
ground, I'm with
wheel.
you.
But yeah,
I think he could be a weapon on the ground, but
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to, I always say this: when it comes to quarterback, I want your arm to be your number one weapon,
Mm-hmm.
not your legs. And I think his number one weapon right now is his legs, and not his
yeah,
arm.
I would agree with that in the NFL. College football, I think it can be.
College football, yeah.
Nino, who was Jacksonville State's quarterback last year?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
Right, because it did not matter because we had Cam Cook and we're going to hand it off and give the ball to him. That's all that mattered. So in this situation,
what
the same
conference
thing.
does Jacksonville State play in?
And the weakest one
The
of them
same similar that my guy,
Not the
ballhead,
Big 12,
Mr.
no.
Kelly said, look, we got Cam Cook coming. We're going to run the ball. Rich Rod said, oh, shit.
Well, this is why I agree with you and why I have worries. Okay, yes, I believe they're going to run the ball. But my point about how they're different from the Steve Slayton and Noel Devine is Sim Slayton would take 65 yards to the house in 3 seconds.
He would.
Cam Cook can see him break one to the house, but Cam Cook is going to get his 300 attempts. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to get 30.
You talking about wide receiver Thomas Castellanos, bro? Like,
yeah, he's a wide
Jalen,
receiver.
Stop it, bro. Like, get some help, bro.
He's trolling you right now.
Yeah, he do this all the time, bro. Like, stop it.
I know.
Like systems matter. Let's stop pretending systems don't matter.
I don't know if there will be enough time on the clock offensively for them to accentuate Michael Hawkins to be as much as a value as
yeah.
He don't gotta be. That man could be great value, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. It don't matter. As long as you turn around and hand that mother to Cam Cook, we going bowling, baby. We going bowling.
So you don't think they're going to start stacking the boxes?
Their offensive line should be straight.
They're going to do that.
But West Virginia is physical. We know that.
Nah, they're going to stack.
I would bet the over. Just say that they go bowling, and I would probably sweat that out all year.
If he can complete 60% of his passes, look out.
What's he weigh? My concern is, yes, he got the wheels, but he takes one hit from somebody. But he has skinny frame.
He's light.
Yeah.
He's 203. Yeah, I'll give you that 100%.
So I get concerns there.
Like
hey, Castellanos had a little bit more bulk on him.
He did, even though he was shorter. He did have. So I'm interested to see. Now I am ready for college football 27. The first team I'm running with is West Virginia. I'm running Rich Rod's system, bro. Like, I'm so excited for it. We are at that mark. This has been a great show. I always enjoy talking shop with you guys. It was Nino giving us fire in the chat earlier. Jalen's trolling me. And Jalen trolls me probably about 2 or 3 times a week. I got to deal with him being a bronsexual. That's already enough. Like, you know. So now I'm getting a great value version of Thomas Castellanos. He said I was trolling. Oh, so now
no, he wasn't trolling yet because he hadn't started Gunna Stockton talk yet. So
yeah, man. So you guys got any last words before we get up out of here?
Gunna Stockton QB1.
Hey, Mike Bubble system. Imagine. Any last words for you?
Bet on Cam Cook's rushing yards.
As I always like to say, there's no more victories in the sport that survive in the fastball. College football is the greatest regular season. Until next time, we will see you guys on Monday, and I'm back tomorrow for Governor of College Football. You all take care. Yes, sir. Today I am the Governor of College Football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir.